there. Hello again. It's me, Bianca. I'm an inner child journey facilitator, and I help people to reparent and heal their inner children, the part of their psyche that may have had some trauma or may have not learned and developed as it should have at various stages of childhood. And then I take them into a more joyful, successful, wonderful, happy present and future. So if you'd like to check that out, my website is www.thrivehive.co.za, and there's a few freebies that you can download to start getting in touch with those parts of yourself that may need some reparenting and some healing. But for now, today I'm bringing you the young adolescent phase of development in childhood and how that could impact you today, and how you can perhaps go back and change a few things so that it's a little easier for you going forward. So the young adolescent, which is around the ages of 11-ish to 14-ish. And for those of you who are parents or have younger siblings, you'll be able to identify with this very nicely, because you'll see that they start having a bit of an attitude, a bit of a pushback starts happening against the parents and the home at that age. Now, listen, adolescence, man, it's a ride. Even if you have been given a really solid foundation of childhood up until adolescence, this is where stuff starts getting tough, because adolescence, especially the earlier side of adolescence, the young adolescent, is about practicing, putting into practice the foundational learning that you've had up until now. And if that foundational learning was shaky, oh boy, then adolescence was probably kind of hellish for you. Okay, if you didn't learn what you needed to learn, the principles that I've addressed earlier on in previous videos, then yeah, your world was probably pretty like 10 times rockier than it should have been. So the young adolescent needs to figure out how to fit in. This is where they start separating, as the toddler started separating from mom, going, that's mom, this is me. We're not one person, and I'm going to start making my own choice. The same thing happens in adolescence. Younger adolescents are now more social. You'll find them wanting to call their friends all the time, wanting to wear the right clothes, finding that identity is, are my friends the nerds? Are they the jocks? Are they the academics? Are they the chess club? Are they the sporty people? Are they the dancers and the arty people? So they start really sifting through, where do I want to fit in? And fitting in is the only important thing for them at that stage, because the peer pressure starts coming in over here, okay, in search of their identity. There's a lot of unspoken social rules in adolescence. And now you got to start trying to navigate these things. You got to be able to apply your self-esteem that you've now learned in older child. You have to be able to honor your boundaries, because here's where kids start getting into trouble. They have more freedom. They start doing slightly stupid things, very stupid things sometimes. And there's a lot of peer pressure to do those things. So they need to be able to have firm, strong, flexible boundaries. A lot of the time they have to navigate a new school, because this is the age where they're going into high school, new friendships, new challenges with your body. Your body starts turning on you at this age. Your awareness of your sexuality becomes everything. Increased emotions because of hormonal activity and changes in your body. So there's a lot going on for a younger adolescent, okay? And that is why you need those skills of boundaries, autonomy, knowing that you're taken care of, self-esteem, achievement, all of that stuff needs to be practiced in these years. And we often say the training wheels are off. at this age. This is where we take the training wheels off, and now this kid has to kind of start navigating without those training wheels. So yeah, there's other things that might also come into play in young adolescents. Obviously, with budding sexuality comes a threat of sexual abuse and sexual inadequacy and that kind of stuff. So please, if you at any stage of childhood, if you did suffer from either overt sexual abuse or covert, kind of more nothing big happened but something affected me kind of sexual abuse or impropriety, then please reach out to a qualified facilitator to be able to help you work through that. Otherwise, it just ain't never going to go away. Okay. This is also the beginnings of substance abuse in many people. And this is a very tender age because the whole brain is kind of rebooting and reorganizing itself, and the hormones are going nuts, and the brain is very, very susceptible to the wrong substances at this age. So very often people who have lifelong substance abuse issues, this is where it started. Destructive behavioral patterns, depression, suicide, all very real threats at this time of the child's development because there's so much pressure all of a sudden. And so you want to definitely go and look at your young adolescence and see where we can tweak and reparent and let go of some of the traumas that might have happened at that age, because traumas were rife. Doesn't matter who you are. Trauma in adolescence is kind of almost a given. Okay. So potential issues from this age: social awkwardness, feeling inadequate, unsafe in group situations. Girls can get very catty at this age, and really, like I've got a girl friend wound, a group wound from that age that I'm still, it's a lot better, but sure. It was something so small at the time, but it hit me so hard. And again, fitting in is the biggest thing at this age. Loneliness and social isolation, feeling that nobody really understands you or gets you, or you won't ever be accepted by a group if they really knew who you were. Difficulty engaging in healthy competition. So fears around losing or fears around winning. Boy, was I taken down when I achieved by my peers. Okay, I was a pretty high achiever academically, and I studied dramatic arts at school, and I was good at it. I was really darn good at it. But when it came to my adult life, I never made it. Why? Because I was afraid that I was going to be shot down again. Okay, so something like that can really halter your entire future if you don't look at it. So poor body image is something that can come in here. It can come in a variety of ways: obsessive, exercising and dieting, eating disorders, body dysmorphia disorders, or even less extreme symptoms such as just self-punishing inner dialogue, like I'm just not good enough, lack of worth, that kind of stuff around your looks. So connecting with your young adolescent, go and have a look at the behavior of 11 to 14-year-olds. You'll see they are less open to communicating freely about any kind of deep, meaningful stuff. Everything's just kind of on the surface, and that's because of a fear of going deeper, fear of truly being seen. They're skittish, they're awkward, they're often sullen and withdrawn, or they come with attitude. Please forgive them their attitude. It's really just blind fear. So go and connect with that young adolescent. Go journal, maybe look at a photo of yourself at that age, and remember yourself, and remember what were your challenges during that time. And how would you have liked it to be different? Knowing what you now know about what you should have learned and what you shouldn't have learned. How would you have liked things to be different in that time? And what you can do is you can go into the meditation that's on my website and go and connect with the young adolescent, or just on your own meditation, doesn't have to be mine, and just go and have a conversation and give them space and time and understanding to tell you what they need, and then give it to them. Give it to them. And very important here is also, again, to start expressing your grief and anger around the hurts of that time, or what you might have missed at that time. And teach that child what you feel you needed to learn. And also, there are always strengths and gifts to be found from each inner child phase that you are engaging with. So look at the joys that kept that young adolescent going. Or perhaps there was that special friendship that they did have. Or perhaps there was the resilience that they had to develop in order to survive that age. The pleasure of dressing up, finding cool new clothes, owning the creativity of your look. Go and look at what you gained from that age and celebrate, because there's always something to be celebrating. And then, of course, I must mention rites of passage, which have a lot to do with, this is now the bridge between you being a little kid and you starting to cross the bridge into adulthood, on a physical level and on an emotional level. So if you didn't have any rites of passage, such as, around menstruation, if that wasn't celebrated and acknowledged by the women in your life without it being awkward and embarrassing, if it wasn't, very often, like, dads or grandfathers will take their sons for a fishing weekend and say, okay, you're one of the boys now, have a beer. And that would be a bonding in that bridge into adulthood. It's a rite of passage. If you didn't have that, please give it to yourself. Please find some sort of ritual or celebration, even if it's just with one or two friends, or even if it's a meditation that you go into to celebrate with other menstruating women. There's a lot of that stuff that you can find online nowadays, but go have a big party, because there is always something to be celebrated. And enjoy your body. This is where you became aware of sensuality, perhaps for the first time, sexuality. I'm not saying go and hump everything, but I'm saying go and enjoy your physicality without shame, without judgment. Look at the beauty of who you are inside and out. Alrighty, I hope that you enjoyed that. I can't say adolescence is always an enjoyable subject, but I hope that this has offered you some insight and some healing today. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can do so via my website, thrivehive.co.za. And we'll see you for the next one, which is the older adolescent, where we kind of ramp it up. Nobody's nervous. I'm not nervous. Have a lovely day.